Well, hey, welcome everybody to another Tech Tip Tuesday. Here it is, November 7th, our first Tuesday for the month. I'm excited to get this ball rolling. We took a little break at the end of last month, but that's okay. I'm sure you guys stored up some questions for us. My name's Ken Close. I'm a Healy World member here in the United States, like most of you guys. Engineering is my background, and being with Healy since the birth is my foreground, I guess you might say. And I'm joined by our awesome head of operations for you, America's Jake Barron. Hi, Jake. How you doing?
Hey, Ken. Hello, everyone. And we have the equally awesome Henry from our tech support team helping out in the chat tonight. So thank you so much.
Welcome, Henry. Everybody say hi to Henry. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. So, hey, let me tell you what we do here, guys. If this is new to you, if Tech Tip Tuesday is a brand new thing for you, great. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. And if it's not, you old timers will know what we're doing anyway. But this is a chat-based forum. What we do here is you guys put your questions into the chat, type them out, and then we will unpack those here live on the call. And of course, our customer service tech support, Henry in the background, with those lightning fingers always adds a lot of good stuff to it. So go ahead and start anytime you want. Go ahead and start that chat fired up. What we can't do, what we don't do really is we don't talk about disease or prevention, diagnostics, or anything around the medical side of prevention. We have an awesome resource for that. You guys are probably familiar with the HealAdvisor Search app. Fantastic for that kind of thing, and we can certainly talk about that and how to get there if you need that kind of stuff. So I guess without further ado, how about we get this party started, Jake?
That sounds perfect.
Okay, so well, I see Henry's already busy welcoming everybody, so thanks for being here, you guys. I see some names up here, some familiar folks. Thanks for being here, you guys. Always love your support. What kind of questions do you guys have? Now, you might even have questions on what we're launching here pretty soon, right? We can even talk about that with the MagHealy. We talk about the MagHealy as well. That's fair game. Any of the Healy technology, the apps, their function, even expanding on what do you think it can do? I don't know. Let's find out. I don't see any questions there. It's pretty quiet.
Ken, as you mentioned earlier, it's been 2 weeks, which feels like a lifetime, because for any of you that have been following along, there's been a ton of new things that have been released, not just little, updates here and there, but so maybe we just start the call by kind of reviewing some of these things that have launched and been announced over the past 2 weeks. So first of all, I think it was shortly after this call, but there's some great new videos in Academy. If you have not checked, I feel like every couple of weeks now, we're like, hey, there's some great new videos in Academy. There's some great new videos in Academy, but there's the content that is available there is really awesome. So here's one of those videos that I was referring to. So this is an aura analysis training, very in-depth. This is not just a 2-minute sort of commercial overview, sales overview. This goes deep into chakra theory and the applications for the aura module. So this is in the HealAdvisor Analyze app section. So if you go to products and then HealAdvisor Analyze app, you'll find this video. It's the last one listed on this page here. So definitely check that one out. It's great. And then you'll see the other big update, the science section. So this is awesome. So if you go to the science section and then go to information field, there's a series of 8 new videos. There's one's an introduction, and then the other seven different chapters, so chapter 1 through 7. And these are in depth too. This goes deep into the science, the fundamentals. Look at some of the titles here: the implicate order and the hidden variables, interaction between consciousness, information field, and physical noise generator entanglement, consciousness and physical noise generator entanglement, general information field entanglement, studies in the field of information field application. So these are awesome. So check these out if you've ever kind of wanted to go deeper into how exactly the information field works. Check these out. You don't need to watch them all at once. Maybe just pick one per day. But they're well worth watching for anyone that is that's using a Healy, specifically any of the the resonance analysis, coaching module or module, those kind of things. So yeah, these are great.
Yeah, you mentioned, Jake, noise generator entanglement. So we've talked before. We had a great session on the quantum field entanglement, or that theory around entanglement. And when we talk about noise generator, guys, one thing to understand is the way that Healy works is with a device called a noise generator. Now, that's not something that just, you've been in a crowded room or auditorium and everything just sounds like noise. That's not what we're talking about. A noise generator in this respect, in the scientific term in electronics, is a frequency generator, something that generates a signal, right? And so noise generator entanglement means that when we are linked to what Healy's producing, that's exactly what you're connected to. And from the information field, from the analysis engine to the quantum field alignment, that's done through these specific frequencies that noise generator is producing. It's amazing in what it's doing, but just understand what that's what they're talking about when they're talking about noise generator. If you're not sure what that term means, it's pretty cool, ingenious way that Marcus created a way to connect you and with this frequency technology. All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was update number 1. I see there's a question here, but we'll just real quick. The other big update, if you were on Frequencies and Friends last week on Wednesday, November 1st, you saw the big announcements. Martina Kling, the Meridians module, which is coming soon, which is amazing. This isn't just a couple new programs. This is a whole new module, taking an in-depth look at Meridians, doing in-depth analysis all the way down to specific like acupuncture points too. So and then this is the first time ever that you're actually using those resonance sensors, the analysis that are inside of the MagHealy. So you're using the MagHealy to do that analysis in the Analyze app. So this is the first time those two have been connected there, which is huge. So this is definitely check out that recording if you haven't yet. But also tomorrow, if you have not registered for it yet, there's a training with Martin Wittmann at I believe it's at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'll put the link into the chat, but he's going to do a training specifically on this new Meridians module. And then also tomorrow, it will be added to any active Healy World members as a sort of it's a trial from the 8th through the 20th of November. You try it out for a limited time. And as far as the definition of active, was anybody, what I believe, anyone that earned any sort of commissions in the month of October. So that's the first group that's going to get this test. And then what we plan on doing is then next week, after this first few days, trying to go ahead and add that to everybody that has a MagHealy too. So it'll be kind of phase 1 and phase 2. But this is huge, to be able to go in depth into an analysis related to the Meridians.
Isn't that great? I mean, again, we're looking at that noise generator entanglement. There's a dual noise generator system in the MagHealy, folks, too. So, all right. Yeah. I love that. And Martin Wittmann's always great for training because he tends to go into the non-physical.
Oh yeah.
Which is where we live. It's where we operate right here with Healy, non-physical, right? Okay. So we do have a question, looks like in the chat. If you're using the new demo experience on your own phone, trying it out, do you, let's see, you serve access to the original search function and capabilities. Do you have search function capabilities until you log out of the demo? So when you're in the analysis demo, then you have all the functions that the HealAdvisor Analyze has. Not that it doesn't have the search function, just the
yeah. So it does once you're and even if you're trying out for yourself, you would have to basically log out of that demo experience to go back into the search module to use the HealAdvisor Analyze app with all the different modules, essentially. So because it's designed to guide somebody through the 7-day journey. So that's the main purpose for it. So yeah, you do need to log out of that, deactivate it from within the app itself, and then just go back in too. So
if you're on your own smart device, let's say you have a Healy, right, and you're wanting to be the demo recipient. Okay, so you log out and then log in as the demo, right? But you're going to have to, so then you're going to pick a specific goal that you want to achieve, and that's going to activate all the parameters around that goal on that Healy device. So whatever the goal is you've picked, there's 6 different categories that you can choose from. Once you've picked one, it'll essentially customize the Healy that you're attached to with your smart device, and then run you through that full 7-day experience. To get out of that anytime, you have to log out.
Yep.
Hopefully that makes sense. And then there's so that's from Julie, and Julie's also given some kudos to the Academy. Huge improvements. Yes, I agree. All right, and then
yeah, I just put the link into the chat for the training tomorrow on the Meridians module to register. If it'll be replayed, so this one is on Webinar Jam. So even if you can't make it live, go ahead and register so you get the link and you can go back and watch it later. You know, I don't know exactly when we'd be able to get that added to our Healy World America's YouTube channel. It's a little more complicated when they're on Webinar Jam. So.
Yeah, when you register, it gives you an invitation link. That same invitation link, it will be the recording. So, you know, if you use that invitation link while it's live, you'll wind up jumping right onto the webinar jam, right? Right onto the live presentation. But if you use that link afterwards, it'll be the recording of the entire thing. Mm-hmm. So it's a twofer. Yeah. So I recommend everybody just register anyway. You know, whether you think you can be there or not, it's a great resource, because someday you'll go, wow, I wish I would have been on that training, right? Somebody will probably tell you that you missed it. No, definitely register. Doesn't hurt. Let's see. Now, guys, if you guys are, if you know folks out there, if you guys are like team leaders, you have other folks that have Healys that you've been a leadership to, invite them to these calls, these resources, because as you see now, at the end of these calls, you can save the chat and you see all these links that Jake and Henry are putting in there. You'll have those for later, right? So if you guys don't know about saving the chat at the end of the call, right down there where you're putting your chat text in, there's that little smiley face right next to that. There's 3 little dots. If you're on your PC or laptop, this does not work if you're on your mobile device right now. But anyway, those 3 little dots, click on those. It'll give you a save chat option. And at the end of the call, when we shut off the broadcast and you leave the chat or leave the call, a pop-up will come on your screen that says, the chat will be there, the link to the content, and you can save it on your.
No, sorry, Ken, I was just gonna say, I think I said the wrong date for the Meridians module. It's not tomorrow; it's Thursday. Anyway, if I said it wrong, but yeah, it's not tomorrow. Tomorrow's What's Up Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then Thursday is the Meridians module training with Martin Wittmann.
Right, Thursday the 9th, everybody. kind of a beta test, isn't it? Something like that where
Yeah, it's actually the app itself, the module itself within the Analyze app is not 100% done. So this is kind of the final test. What you see tomorrow when it gets released to a select group, there'll probably be some minor changes before it actually goes fully live on November 20th.
And whenever there's reference to tomorrow, Germany's tomorrow is a little bit different than maybe our tomorrow.
Yeah, and anyone expecting this module to be loaded, I think it said please give it up to 24 hours. So the process might start tomorrow, but it might not show up exactly on Wednesday. It could be a little bit later. So.
On Thursday, not necessarily on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our week, Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Do we have a question here? It says there's this last few weeks I've had 4 units. Each time I attempt to start up, it asks me the unit serial number. I enter it manually and it doesn't always take the entered serial number. So in other words, I'm assuming it's not retaining it within the app. So well, first of all, I want to make sure you're utilizing the new Healy 2 app. So remember last week, the old original Healy Pink Dot app was discontinued. I mean, it was basically deactivated. So if you even try to log into it, it'll say, it says, what was that message? It says something like, not active or not available. I can't remember what it says. But you'll have to load the new Healy 2 app, and that's the one that is it's right here above my shoulder. Looks like that. If you're having troubles, my first request of you is to hard reset your Healy. Okay, so all that process, there's a little easy process. Hard close all the apps on your smart device. Hard close them all, everything. Do a full Healy reset. Press and hold the reset button till the green light turns green solid. Release the button, the green light goes off. Then go and open the app, turn your Healy on, and then let that process go through its normal system, where meaning that it's going to search for your device. It's going to find whatever device is turned on, right? Whatever one's got a green light flashing. Then it's going to have you scan that serial number. Or the QR code, or enter the serial number manually. Now, some smart devices, when you've set up that app that you did not allow it to use your camera, it won't try to scan the QR code with the smart device's camera. So this is why I say hard close everything, start again, and see if that will do it. If it still won't scan the QR code, I recommend that you go into the app and turn those permissions on, or what you may not be able to do that after you've already loaded the app. Delete the app and reload it, and then it's going to ask you those questions again. So you have to allow it to use your camera when you want to scan the QR code. But give us some follow-up, because it should, when you manually put in that serial number, it should take it, but making sure you're on the Healy 2 app first. Okay. And then I see Henry back there having a chat with you. You are on the Healy 2 app. Good. Try that reset function. One of the things I constantly talk about when it comes to our smart devices is that making sure the plethora of apps in the background are shut down. Because, I mean, we have a certain amount of memory on these devices, right? If you have a lot of pictures and videos and apps and stuff like that, you start to consume that memory. And then when you have a lot of apps open, you don't have enough actual memory within the smart device to run all the things you're trying to run. And Healy tends to like to have memory resources. So it can be glitchy. And so this is why I say, shut down everything in the background, right? Because even your email app on your smart device is doing something without your commands. It's going and searching your email account, pulling content in at a certain frequency, at a rate. And when it does that, it uses a Wi-Fi or your data stream system, whatever your network is. And that's another consumption of resources, AKA memory. So by shutting all that stuff down, it starts to free up resources. I always say, look, take a look at how much memory you have available on your smart device. And that's it. You're able to do that within the settings tab. If you don't know how to do that, guys, go to YouTube, search how to check memory on my XYZ model iPhone or tablet. And there'll be somebody that's done a video on how to do that. But check how much memory resources you have. And I always say that if you don't have 25% of your total memory resources available for just free use, then your system could get glitchy when you have a lot of things running. Okay, so check those things out. So Stanley actually adds some stuff here, said that I had that similar problem a few weeks ago. Turned out that it was related to text size. Not all the screen was visible. So that's another thing that is possible. We have large text, and when an app is trying to display content, it only has a certain size of venue to do so. And if there's a lot of content to be displayed, then a button, like an activation button, may be outside the parameters of that display area. So that used to be really relevant with some of the old iPhone models, and maybe, I don't know about the Androids. I don't think we had a lot of trouble with that with the Androids, but there was with some of the iPhones. All right, so hopefully you guys are getting that worked out. Test the sequence we talked about here. See what happens. Looks like we're caught up, Jake.
I think so. I just remembered, though, one of the other things that I wanted to discuss. Again, as we mentioned before, there's been a lot that has happened since the last Tech Tip Tuesday 2 weeks ago, but the MagHealy firmware update as well. So if any of you have a MagHealy, you would have noticed last week when you went to, it would have been a forced firmware update. When you open it up, it would say there's a new firmware update available. Then you load it. And this is a couple key new features. One, which you probably noticed right away after doing it, is the lighting, the patterns, and the intensity of the lights has been adjusted to where it's a much more, it's the flashing, it's not like a flash anymore, or a pulsating sort of a light. It's much more calming versus kind of, all over the place. And the lights on the top too are a little bit more dim. So it's a little bit, if you're running, say, like an atmosphere program at night, it's not as distracting, which is great too. And this, of course, all comes from feedback that we've received, since MagHealy has been released. So that's a welcome change. I love the new lighting patterns. And then also, you can turn off the Bluetooth chip now in the MagHealy. So after you start a program, just like with the Healy device, when you're running a program, you can turn off that chip. When you click on the Healy icon at the top right of your screen, you have the option to disable that chip, and you can do the same thing now with the MagHealy too.
Yeah, that once that Bluetooth chip is turned off, you're no longer transmitting content from the app to the MagHealy or vice versa. So there's no communications. The app essentially is non-functional, but the MagHealy is still functioning. Like the Healy, still runs the entire program that was loaded. Turning that back on. So how is that turned back on the MagHealy? Is it just by turning the MagHealy off and on?
I haven't tried it. I don't know if the next time you go to start up the MagHealy, if it'll ask you for it. I could probably do it while we're on the call here just to find out, but
I haven't tested it either. It's brand new.
Yeah. I just confirmed that the function is there. I didn't actually turn it off because I had no need at the time to do so. But
Well, we're learning live here, folks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't tried it. I know with the Healy, if you manually turn off the Bluetooth, you have to press the power button twice, right? Press, and then let it come on, and that will actually reactivate the Bluetooth chip. But the MagHealy, a little different turn on.
Let's see. I'm going to turn this off right now. So for those of you,
Let's
like,
try it.
I don't want to, but you see there's a little toggle there to turn the Bluetooth chip on and off. But let's turn that off here. Let me just see. It says switch off Bluetooth on MagHealy. Do you really want to switch off the Bluetooth chip on the device? After switching off the Bluetooth chip, your program will continue to run. If you want to reconnect the MagHealy later, you must first turn it off so position switch 1. And then turn it back on to switch 2 or 3 to reconnect it to the app. So basically turn it off and turn it back on, then the Bluetooth chip is activated again. So pretty simple there.
Pretty easy. And that's cool because the app actually tells you before you actually do the function how to turn it back on, which is the same thing that the Healy does, right?
Yeah.
The Healy has a little video there, kind of shows you it's playing how to do that. So so that's great. Simple.
Yeah.
We learn here in real time. So guys, when you go back to this video or you send somebody there, how do you turn the Bluetooth chip off and on a MagHealy? There'll be a little section right here in this video on how to do that. Yeah. And by the way, you guys want to watch the recordings for Tech Tip Tuesday or What's Up Wednesday or Frequencies and Friends, there is a YouTube channel, which is it's the Healy Americas YouTube channel, right? Healy Americas. To get to that, guys, you go to actually the YouTube channel is Healy World Americas. To get there, you go to HealyAmericas.com, HealyAmericas.com, and you'll find the channel, and there's all kinds of content there, lots and lots of videos, everybody. And this video, as well as all the other weekly update videos for or calls for US and the Americas, is all there. And they're all hyperlinked, by the way. So like I mentioned, if you're looking for something on how to turn the Bluetooth chip on or off for MagHealy, there'll probably be something that says how to turn Bluetooth chip on and off on a MagHealy.
Yeah. But this one's simple. You know, we're trying to make things more simple as we go. And this one, I think everyone should be okay with.
That one's easy. Just turn it back on.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's see what other resources that we can tell about the Healy Academy, guys. By the way, this is it's academy.healy.world. If you want to just go there without going through your back office or anything, Healy Academy or academy.healy.world, and then log in. And once you log in, you'll be able to search all those videos. And there's all those different categories. It keeps adding, like Jake was saying, it keeps adding more and more all the time. Just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's an amazing resource. So take a look at that.
Yeah, there's some great new trainings coming soon related to some of the Analyze app, the resonance databases too. So those will be, I don't have the exact dates on that, but maybe Martin Wittmann will discuss that a little bit. But yeah, those are going to be amazing also.
Yeah, and when you're in the Academy, everybody, you're logged in and maybe you see a video you just want to share. There is a share function on the video itself. Some of them, I don't know if all of them are shareable.
Most of them have it now. Most of the product ones have that share function. So.
Yeah, little share functions like a little paper airplane. I think it's up top at the corner, and then you can click on that and you can share that link with somebody. So I know when I'm watching a video, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know somebody who needs to see this. Blah blah blah, right? And then how do I share it, right? So
let me just show while we're discussing that. So yeah, so we're in the science section again. Say you wanted to send somebody that was interested in Healy. It's like, hey, how does this work? You know, I don't understand the information field. So information and its fundamental importance. You can send them, you know, one video at a time if you want. But because Ken mentioned, after you click play, so like if you clicked play on this one, you'll see at the top right, this arrow comes up. the little paper airplane arrow. You click on that, so you can share Facebook, Twitter, and then you can, or you can email too, or you can just see there's a Vimeo link. Each of them, because Academy you have to log into in order to view the videos. But if you just want to send the link some other way, just click on it. You can right click, copy link address, and then you can send it to somebody that way as well. Or you can of course use these functions here too.
That's great stuff. I remember creating some colorful workarounds when we couldn't send them out, but
Yeah.
now it's just right there. Right there. All right. Man, we got a quiet crowd tonight, Jake. Not a lot of questions there.
Let's see what else we got here.
I don't see anything. It looks like Henry's handling some of the things that we were talking about before.
Yep. Yep.
So hopefully the one question about having troubles connecting with the Bluetooth, that has been rectified. I don't know. Let's give us some follow-up. Make sure that you're trying our tips and you're able to get back on there, because the last sentence there was, "This is getting frustrating." I hear you. We don't want that. We want to solve it for you. I've used the Healy for years. I've got several, and I rarely have any trouble at all with any of them. So I know there are solutions. Let's see. So we got another question. Does the MagHealy have a quantum sensor truncating the program once our body has had enough? So in other words, so a quantum sensor. So within the Healy, and you're connected to the Healy, whether it be via the electrodes and the wires or the coil, Healy is interfacing with the body to find out what frequencies it needs, and then analyzing a progress. Okay, same thing. Now, the MagHealy, it's going to be using the analysis app, not the pink dot. It's not going to be applying microcurrent in that same way. It's going to be using the information field. Okay, so it's not really looking at your progress as far as when it's applying content, aka through the noise generator and the frequencies. It's not really looking at the resonance of your body. It's looking at what you need and then putting it into the information field of the client. Different, a little bit different. Hopefully that makes sense. MagHealy is not putting microcurrent into you. You're not connecting this way. Okay, it's only using magnetic energy. So it's going to be, the quantum sensors are still in entanglement with the client. Okay. And remember, the client is what? It's the content, the identification of the person in the app, within the app. Okay. And then that identification isolates them from anyone else in the universe, so that when those frequencies are sent, the intention, the MagHealy's intention is only focused on that one entity within the universe. All right. So a little bit different. And we're not really talking apples for apples for that. I guess you might say that full marker of the body from the application. It's not really looking at the full marker as would be the Healy and this system. So different. Anything you want to add to that, Jake?
No, I mean, yeah, it's got those dual resonance sensors, noise generators, as you kind of mentioned earlier, the dual. But yeah, this is a completely new function that's been unlocked with the Meridians module that's being released too. Using the MagHealy for the first time with the information field.
Yeah, it's going to apply those frequencies for the amount of time you've set it for, right? Irregardless. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to do it.
Yeah, tune into that training on Thursday with Martin Wittmann for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all going to learn more. I mean, it's brand new, so
it is.
we get to learn and test, and then come back here and answer your questions.
I have not even used it yet.
Yeah, but I know the difference. If you look at things on a basis of principle, the difference between the blue app and the pink app, there's two different ways in which it is identifying the target, you might say, or the one being applied to. Two different ways. One is the pink dot. Understand, the pink app, or Healy 2, only knows the one it's being connected to or in proximity to. When I say connected to, via the wires, electrodes, or the coil, and it's in proximity to you. It only knows that. The HealAdvisor, the blue app, it only knows the client that's put into the app itself. And that identifies that amongst anyone in the universe. So that's the way that it's targeting or applying to a specific entity. Okay. A bit different. Hopefully you guys can see that. And if you can't, ask me more questions. Now, I do want to talk a little bit something that in Meridians, maybe some of you guys aren't familiar with Meridians. What is that? And we're talking about the new Meridians program or module for the MagHealy. Healy also has a Meridians page, a group of programs. And when we're talking about Meridians are pathways through the body. And sometimes these pathways, I mean, some of them are very, very large and identified in general form. Acupuncture, acupressure, even massage works with meridians within the body. But some of these meridians are literally only a cell wide or a couple cells wide. Very, very small, specific meridians through or pathways through the body. And just as maybe some of you guys are familiar with reflexology, where we can manipulate certain points in the feet to address certain organs in the body, same thing, same principle. There are points, pressure points, and application points where we can communicate or increase flow within the body. So those are meridians. Those are guidelines that we can amplify energy to improve conditions or optimize certain systems in our body. Cool stuff. Okay. How long do we have access to the Meridians program? So like Jake said, it's the 9th through the 20th. Right. So, and you saw that Jake put in there the 20th. Okay. Let's see. So there's a question here. Where can I find more information about certain programs like the Breath of Life? I know it mentions that the manual has more information, but it does not give much more information. You're right. There's not a lot as far as like specific details around, I don't know what part it's talking to. The owner's manual and the academy, that's about it. I've seen other trainings out there on specific programs and modules. That's something that individual leaders are creating on their own, or practitioners. There's a lot of experts out there, which I'm not one of, in terms of frequency and energy modalities. I understand the epigenetics of the body and the influence that frequencies have on that process. But as far as things around the design of these programs, I've studied them a lot in terms of what frequencies they're applying, but I don't know exactly what frequency does what to the body. So, Jake, anything you want to put in there as far as more available information?
No, I mean, of course, we'd like to be able to say in more detail for everything, but there's certain ones that are a little bit more limited than others. But couple of questions here, just going back up one. This interesting question. So it was, where did it go? Okay, so this is, are the sleep programs all the same in the 3 MagHealy modules? So this is a great question, because there are 3 different sleep programs available for the MagHealy, but no, they're not all the same. They're in 3 different applications. So there's one in the classic module, or the classic application for sleep, and that's your traditional magnetic field application. Then there's the atmosphere one, which is a different sort of way of using the MagHealy, because it's not placed on or directly sort of near you. It's just for the environment. And then there's a McMakin sleep application also, which of course uses those dual frequencies at the same time. So they're all kind of related to sleep, but they work in slightly different ways. So
if we understand the way that the body goes to sleep and the way the body stays asleep, if we look at the genetic influence on the body, so there are chemical shifts as we reduce the light going into the eye and that optic nerve signaling to the brain, and there's a process that shifts chemistry and hormones so that you can go into sleep. Now, even sometimes even with the reduction in light, that we still can't shut down because the mind is too busy and the stress response is turned on. When the stress response is turned on, no different than, I mean, if you're running from a bear or you're in some catastrophic event, your body's not going to want to go to sleep. How many of you guys have been just engaged in something so intensely that you were not tired, you were fired up, right? And so not until the adrenaline rush diminished or the event starts to get over and you start to calm down, that the body becomes tired. Okay. Well, so the atmosphere program is going to handle that differently than, say, the classic. The classic might be talking just to the body to help promote hormonal influences, to promote physical changes in the body. The atmosphere might be working on some of your stress responses. So various things. And McMakin is going to be talking about the dual frequencies, where things that have to do with the tissue, right? This is her fame, is creating 2 specific series of frequencies, one to address the tissue of the body and one to address the issue of the mental and maybe the spiritual concepts. So, and if we jump over to the Healy and the microcurrent, they're also different in terms of what they're talking to in the ways they're talking to the body and interfacing with the body. So, yeah, I mean, I always say, listen to your body, use the technology in ways that make sense to you, and then be your own experiment. That makes sense?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Question about the animal module. Says someone in their organization's reluctant to order the animal module as there's not any detail describing each program, or are we missing an available resource? So yeah, there's some great new resources that have been made available in the last month or two. So let me just share here and kind of show. Hopefully this is something new that you haven't seen already, but this whole page on the animal module is new here. So if you go to products and then go to HealAdvisor Animal, and you kind of, this whole page has been redone. There's some videos, there's some testimonials, there's some of the science, it shows what comes in it, some pictures of the pets, and then down here, the animal programs at a glance. So there's, sort of a summary of each irritant, reaction, suffering, defense, joints, eyes, hormones. So each of the programs that come with it, there's a sort of a short description here, which is helpful. And then also, if you go to Academy, go to Academy and sort by brochure, and then you'll see here, you go to brochure HealAdvisor animal module. This is fairly new too. And then if you download that, open it up, you'll see a couple pages down here, the information on the animal programs too. So, and it has expert tips also included here for each of those animal module programs. So I think if someone hasn't seen this yet, I think this is great information as far as wanting to know what's in the animal module programs before ordering it. And now, of course, there's a lot of people that want to order it this month because for the first time ever, it's available for a one-time purchase rather than the monthly subscription. So I know we have a lot of people interested in taking advantage of that offer this month.
You know, another resource, guys, is that there are some global public Facebook pages out there. And I know when I'm looking for something and a friend of mine says, hey, I know somebody that has been using it and has a testimonial or has some advice, I love to have references or referrals by friends, right? So you can go to some of these Facebook pages, you can go in there and ask your questions, post your concerns, and then use that group to find and maybe connect you with experts or people who have a lot of experience with using the animal module. I know we even have one here. One of our guests that's here all the time. Izzy's always here and works a lot with animals. So, you know, I know that there's some experience, lots of experience out there. I've watched some of the Healy presentations on veterinarians who have also put some content out there. Healy's had some interviews and some experts on some of their presentations. So there you go. I mean, do a little digging out there. You'll find people who can refer you, and that's, to me, that's always heartfelt. You know.
Yeah, Ken, I'm glad you mentioned that. So, you know, we talk a lot about our YouTube channel because that's where we put the recordings for like Tech Tip Tuesday and things like that. But the Healy World official YouTube channel, like, it's amazing now, the content that's added there almost on a daily basis. So let me share my screen again. Lots of screen sharing today. But if you go, this is Healy World official, so at Healy World official, and you'll see here ton of new information. They have this whole new shorts section, which are basically short little user experience, testimonial, things like that. But related to the animal module, if you go to playlist, and then you'll see here is a playlist, Healy animal module, and then click full playlist, and you'll see here there's some, you know, 5 to 10, 15-minute videos on people's, you know, experience from the animal scientific community for specifically using the animal module. So these are great resources too. So there is a lot of resources on the animal module if you know where to find it, and now you do. So
there you go. You know, I hear this a lot by various leaders say that people will spend more money on their pets than they will on themselves, right? And so I'm not surprised that there's a lot of great expert content on the animal module. And by the way, these are experts. These are practitioners, veterinarians, you know, experts in the field. So great resource.
Yep.
All right. Let's see what else we got.
So
go ahead, Jake.
I'll say this is a good question. It's kind of related to one of our topics we discussed quite a bit, but when the low frequencies stop the wavy line. So when you get that message, you know, you're running a program in the Healy 2 app and everything's going along, the frequency wave is flowing, and then suddenly it stops and, you know, it says a frequency is generated but no current is flowing, that kind of thing. So a lot of times that comes up when a low frequency is being transmitted, because it takes a little bit more oomph to to get through. And so the question was, though, so when that happens, they increase the percent to get it moving again, so that wave is flowing. But then, you know, they start to feel a little bit too much sensation there. So what was the best route to kind of keep that wave flowing, but not, you know, have possibly a little bit too much intensity there?
Mm-hmm. And this is a little bit of where experience comes in, because it's, as Jake mentioned, sometimes you have to up the current to get the oomph to get through the body. So the lower frequency is typically below, say, 400 hertz. Those are what we call closer to density, closer to matter. And so sometimes it takes more power, more current flow, more intensity. Now, remember what you're doing by adjusting that intensity. You're not changing the frequency that's being applied. You're just changing the amplitude of it. Amplitude meaning the microcurrent amplitude. Okay. So just getting a stronger signal, more current flow through the body. So those lower frequencies do require more current flow to get through the body. A couple of things you can do is you can increase conductivity between the wristbands and your body. Okay. AKA like some gel, right? There's conductive gel you can get to put on there. Moisten the wristbands before you put them on. You can put a wet cotton ball in between your skin and the electrode. That's going to help conductivity. Now, still, if the frequency is low, so again, even some of those frequencies that are like under 100 hertz, but the point is you need more power to get those through the body. So you got to watch the program, because the moment you run that current up to get the flow through your body, and then what happens in 10 seconds? It switches to another frequency, right? That frequency might be of a higher frequency that you can feel, and then you're shifting it back down. So my advice is, and I did this for probably a year when I was learning the Healy and how it interfaces with my body. I watched what frequencies that I could feel at what power levels, and what frequencies would not get through at the same power levels. Okay. Does that make sense? So if you can feel them at a certain amplitude level, like 30%, 25%, whatever, then you can feel them. And then when it switched over to the other one, what amplitude I had to adjust those to get them to go through the body. I played with that and then found a happy medium in between. I also made sure you got to eliminate you as a contributing factor to the lack of flow. So that means the conductivity I talked about, hydration within your body, and electrolytes, folks. Making sure your electrolytes are of good content within the body. And electrolytes are minerals. Minerals are obtained from foods, typically living plant foods. A lot of minerals in those. Why? Because a plant is a transducer between the dirt and your body to get the minerals from the dirt to your body. If we could just eat dirt and get the minerals, man, we'd be good, right? But that's not how it works. There's got to be a transducer, aka the plant, to make those consumable by the human body. So making sure that those electrolytes are high, hydration's high, conductivity is high, and then it's going to be up to your analytics and study and just getting familiar with what frequencies that you can feel. Now, another thing that happens over time, as you're using your Healy more and more, your body adapts. It does adapt. And you'll find that maybe, a month or so down the road, you're not necessarily feeling that same frequency at the same intensity, because the body it accommodates and allows that frequency or that energy to flow. Okay, so it's in partnership with you. Just learning how it works is a big thing. Okay. So here, I don't know if somebody's already addressed this. Can you direct me to any coach or practitioners that can assist me in understanding the different programs? This is causing me some grief getting clients because I don't know the programs well. I hear you. I understand. And that's, again, part of our research is understanding what frequency technology is and understanding some principles. I think, so here's another one of our audiences says, hey, I can give you 30 minutes to help you out. Definitely connect. If there's folks here in the group that use frequencies within their practices and have experience, here's this technology, ladies and gentlemen, is fairly advanced. Not fairly, it is advanced. And from a corporate's perspective, if they start if you talk too specific around certain things, they can, then I know regulatory systems that start to come down on too much detail. So there are practitioners all over the world that use these in very specific ways. And that information is going to get out there. But it looks like there's someone in our audience that's willing to help you out for a little bit. Take them up on that. All right. Where are we?
We had a question. Henry already answered this part, but it was related to HealAdvisor Search. You know, when it comes up, there's sort of groups of programs that are displayed when you search for a particular topic there. And, you know, the one highest up has the highest relevance to what you typed in there. So, and it's asking about if you can purchase, but anyway, you can go with the top one. You're welcome to look through the other ones that are lower just to see what programs are within that group itself. But if you're not sure and don't have a ton of experience with it, just go with the one that's at the highest on the list there.
And when we use the HealAdvisor Search app, okay, it's this one with the wavy lines here on over my shoulder. When we use that HealAdvisor Search app, you put a keyword in there for searching a condition, whatever it is, you know, on your body. It's going to come up with groups and a number after the group. Within that group, there's 12 things or 14 things or 7 things or whatever. That group, you click on the top group. That's the most, whatever's in that group is the most relevant to whatever word you typed in. That's how it works. Order of priority is the top one all the way down to the bottom one. And so tap on that group, open it up, and you'll see a list of programs. The one at the very top is the most relevant. The second one, second relevant, and so on down the line. So use those in order that it shows up. And then you can even use your own intuition. What makes sense? What I've also want you to caution you is sometimes what makes sense cognitively is not necessarily what Healy's looking at objectively. Healy looks at you or the condition you're trying to address objectively, right? There's no judgment. We look at the condition subjectively based on what we know, our intellect, our experience, all that kind of thing. Well, it plays a role in what we believe in. Also probably led to why we're in that disorder in the first place. So I'm just saying, let the objective observer help you out, because it's probably going to be in maybe in different alignment with you to help realign you. If that makes sense. Okay. All right. We got a couple minutes here. What did we miss, Jake?
Got a question on, hi, wonderful techies. I need help with the right information on how to lend a demo Healy Holistic to somebody. Where can I find this? So yeah, the Healy Demo Experience is made for this particular purpose here. So if you go to Academy, go to academy.healy.world. So we'll go back here, and this is in the business section. You go to business and then go to Healy Demo, and these have been watched, but anyway, there's a video on initiating the demo experience, so how to activate it, the activation and deactivation of the demo mode, sort of an overview of what it looks like when you're sort of going through that, how to do a demo session. This is actually a short presentation. And then there's a course for the Healy demo, just a couple question course on how to do that as well. So it's pretty simple. And then also we did our last Healy for Beginners and Beyond a couple weeks ago. That's available on our YouTube channel at HealyAmericas.com. But the recording of that, it was entirely on the Healy Demo Experience and showed a lot of screenshots of how this whole thing works. But the great thing with the Healy Demo Experience, it doesn't matter what edition you have, whoever you loan your device to can go through any of the 6 journeys and be able to run all the programs, even if it doesn't normally come with your edition.
Awesome. Yeah, that great resource, by the way, pretty detailed too. So
Yep.
you'll be an expert after watching all that. All right. Well, it is at the end of the hour. There was one last question I do want to bring up that says there was a question about how, someone dropped their Healy, now it makes a rattling sound. How can I replace it? And there is a replacement protocol for that. It was said that it seems like it's still working, but just want to make sure. So there is a replacement protocol. Henry is helping you with that. It does require submitting a ticket so that you can actually purchase a new one. You're not going to spend the same amount. You get a hardware kit for, what is it, $350 or $3?
For a Healy device, for MagHealy, which is a much more expensive hardware, I believe it's 700 right now. But anyway, just put the support ticket in, and our team will be happy to assist.
Right. Yes. MagHealy versus Healy, different pricing.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, hey, thanks for being here. If we didn't get to your question, sorry. Maybe jump in next week. We'll be here. Let's see. We won't be here, folks. Write this down your calendar. We won't be here on November 21st. So that's a couple of weeks from now. Jake's going to be on vacation next week. So it'll be myself and maybe a co-host. Anybody want to co-host with me? How about that? Some of you guys are here all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, we could have some fun doing that, right? So anyway, thanks to everybody for being here. Thank you, Henry. Appreciate you. And we'll see you guys next week, huh?
Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys. Bye for now.